The new draft really builds on the original text, so what we've actually seen is a ton of strengthening of language and additions that we needed to see on things like adaptation and loss and damage. But the big thing that is weakened a bit, though not out, is the language on fossil fuels and coal. So originally it was really nice, clear language, phase out coal, no more fossil fuel subsidies, and now it's kind of weakened. It's no more unabated coal, no more inefficient fossil fuel subsidies, and this is language we've seen for a decade at least in the G7, the G20, and it hasn't really done anything because, and Australia just turns around and says, well, all of our fossil fuel subsidies are incredibly efficient. What the text in general means for developing countries is a bit more confidence that money will come. Not as much confidence as they probably need given how much money needs to come, but particularly the fact that there is now a commitment to double adaptation finance by 2025. We haven't had a date for that yet, and that is really good to hear, though it actually needs to come a bit earlier. There is also a clear commitment to fully deliver the 100 billion over the period to 2025, so to not let that 600 billion that were promised be reduced by the fact that we didn't really manage to meet that target in 2020 or 2021. So I think it does improve confidence, but more would be helpful. On the issue of loss and damage, this conference has seen a real step change in the way that we've talked about it. Loss and damage used to be almost a taboo word in these halls. Like, people just didn't want to talk about it. And this is the first time that we're really saying, let's talk about what is needed, let's talk about maybe how to do that. But what I'm reading from this text is not yet, let's talk about how we get you the money. So it is very welcome that we now have some money put behind an expert network, the Santiago network on loss and damage, and that network is also going to have a facility, a technical term for kind of a body that will help countries with actually figuring out where they can get loss and damage finance. But obviously it isn't here is a pot of money that we will provide to help you with the devastation that you're already facing. This is a strong text to go into the end game with, but it's also a text that means it's going to be a long end game. So we are definitely going to be here for another couple of hours. We are probably still going to see some floor fights. So it is definitely going to be interesting, but this is a good text to be heading into that process with.